Hello, good evening. I'm back. Please bear with me. I hope it's going to be okay. I just have to hold my phone. Good evening. Welcome to my Facebook Live. Today I'll be talking about the enabler, the bully, and the victim. And why do we need to talk about this? I know I've talked about bullying before, but so many things are happening after the death of the popular gospel musician. A lot of cases are coming up. People are trying to find their voices to talk, to speak out, because they are being bullied in their homes, especially by their spouses. So if that is the case, we need to go to we need to see, why is this happening? Why is this happening? And I think the first place to look at is the home. And that is why I'm talking about this. We are talking about the enabler of bullying. We are just going to look at it from the parenting angle, so that let's raise balanced children, so that when they grow up and they have their homes, they won't be bullying their spouses, they won't be bullying their children, because bullying has a short-term effect and a long-term effect. So we already know who a bully is. A bully is one who harms or intimidates people they think are vulnerable. I have okay, before I go to talk about the enabler, let's just talk about who a bully is. So we don't want to raise bullies. We don't want to raise children that will intimidate others or cause harm to other children. And that's why we are talking about this. Cause harm to other children and grow up to be bullies that will be abusers, that will physically abuse people, mentally abuse or emotionally abuse. We don't want to raise children that are not balanced. We don't want to raise children that will they will be hitting their spouses. And that's why we need to talk about this. I know a lot of people are not joining me now, but I'll leave it here so that later you can always come back to see the video. So we know who a bully is. Someone that harms or intimidates people they think are vulnerable, people they think they can handle. Bullies don't go about slapping soldiers or slapping people that are bigger than them. They look for people that are vulnerable. That's why in physical abuse or domestic abuse, you see that the man sees the spouse, or the woman who sees the spouse, somebody weaker that can assert, harm, or intimidate. We don't. They didn't just grow up to be men overnight. They didn't just grow up to be women bullies overnight. They were raised in a home. So let's do it right. Let's do it right. So who are the enablers of bullying? Who are the enablers? The funniest thing is that, number one, parents can be enablers of bullying. And you may say, how am I enabling bullying? When you enable aggression, when you enable siblings aggression especially, or you enable violence, or you yourself, you are always involved in violent acts. If you are a violent person, if you encourage sibling aggression, and I'm going to give examples of that, or aggression of any type. I know that sometimes we say, but we have to teach children self-defense. We'll get to that. But what we are talking is, if you are a violent person and you are violent towards people around you, your children will tend to be violent. There is a school of thought which I personally believe in, that children are not born kind, or they are not born wicked. It's what you teach them, or who you teach them to be, that they are. The home can be an enabler. If you are in a home where you say, yeah, slap your younger one. Oh, yeah, beat. Yes, this is how they will know you are older. Then what you are doing is that you are enabling bullying, because there will be a day they can't relate with themselves except they hit one another, and that is not good. Siblings will always have issues. As parents, we should help them sort it out in a healthy way. And what is the healthy way? Say what you have to say. You say what you have to say. And I've said it before. I've had Facebook Live where we talk about expressing emotions. Your children should be able to express how they feel concerning an issue. Oh, I'm sad, I'm angry, I'm frustrated. They should not act out how they feel. Instead, they should verbalize. Teach them to verbalize how they feel, how to express. Let them explain their emotions. Let them not just express it and throw tantrums and throw things away. You should be able to tell them what is happening to you. And they'll tell you, I'm angry right now. And you say, why are you angry? I'm angry because my sister did this. Then sit down, catch your breath, then we talk about it. Or do you want to talk about it now? That's how to sort out issues. The thing is, if they don't know how to sort out issues at home, they will not know how to sort it out in school. And as they grow older, they will think the only way to sort out an issue is to go violent. You don't need to be violent. Don't encourage sibling aggression, please. And don't encourage aggression of any type. If one sibling is aggressive, let the child face the consequences. There are several type of ways to discipline such actions. And I know some people say, are you saying we should not scold? You should scold. But there are so many which I've taken before how to discipline a child. In fact, when I took those Facebook Live, if you go back to my videos, I did age appropriate discipline. How you discipline a child that is below 2, how you discipline from 2 to 5, how you discipline from, till you get to teenagers, how you discipline. There are ways to discipline. You should know that when your child is tending towards teenagehood, as much as teenagers, to as your child is growing up to be a teenager, that's what I'm trying to say. You have to reduce physical discipline. That's beating. You have to reduce it to the barest minimum. So if you check my videos before now, I talked about age appropriate discipline, but we are talking about not raising bullies, not raising boys that will be men that will be abusers, or girls that will grow up to be abusers. And we said the home can be an enabler if the only thing of the child keeps watching the parents always fighting, always aggressive, always violent. They will think that is the only way to show, to express your emotions. So the home can be an enabler. The parents, the older siblings can be enablers. They can say, no, oh yeah, the two of you come here and start fighting. It's today you will know the older one. No. You don't teach children violence. You don't teach children violence. Violence of any type is not encouraged. So the home can be, the society can be an enabler. The school can be an enabler, of bullying. I am sure so many schools don't do that again. But I remember when I was in school, we actually, prefects have canes that you use to go to the classes, use. No, a student does not have that power to hit another child. But sometimes the school will enable it. That you are the senior, take the cane, beat. At that point, even the person perpetrating the bullying action might not know that he's doing something bad, because he or she has a backing of a higher authority. So teachers can be enablers. But I want to believe that we've grown past that, where we will be enabling some students to bully other students. I want to believe that most schools, at least most of the schools I know around here, they don't do it. But if you are in that school of thought that yes, they are seniors, they should beat their juniors, it is not acceptable. When we don't know, we don't know, but now we know, and it is not acceptable. That is a form of bullying. So we have said the home can enable bullying, the parents, older siblings, the society, the school can enable bullying. So if that is the case, then how do we raise children? How do we raise them not to be bullies? How do we raise children not to be bullies? We are talking about this again, not because we've not talked about it before. We are talking about it again because when we see cases of spouses bullying themselves to the point of death, we need to ask who raised them. How did they get to this? How did they get to this form of wickedness such that they bully, they harm people physically, harm them emotionally, even to the point, where life is no longer there? We need to look at it, look at our parenting, our skills and abilities, make corrections. There's no perfect parenting. That's why we are learning from one another and to look back. Am I doing the right thing? If I'm not, then I need to change. There was a time I wrote something about um, the legacy of anger. If you're an angry parent, you raise angry children. And angry children bully other children, especially if they don't know how best to explain their emotions. So, how do we raise children that are not bullies? How do we raise children that will grow up and not hit others and not just always look for a way to hit others, to cause harm, so, drain other people emotionally? And I think the first way is that you have to teach your children to respect others. Either the person is older or younger, everyone deserves to be respected. Everyone is unique and they should be treated with kindness. Whether you are older than the person or the person is older than you. I always tell children that it's not only, you don't show respect to only the people older than you, even the people younger than you, they deserve to be respected. You teach empathy. There are some people that are so different from who you are. They don't have the privileges you have. You have to be kind to others. Even if you don't like someone, that doesn't mean you have to be mean to the person. You have to let your children know. Of course, you may not like someone, but that doesn't mean you have to be mean to the person. So we have to teach our children respect. They must respect others, irrespective of their background, irrespective of their educational status, irrespective of where they come from. Everyone deserves to be respected. I'm now talking about how not to raise a bully. Everyone needs to be respected. And the second one is don't ignore sibling aggression. Like I said, it's normal for siblings to have to have disagreements. It's normal for siblings to quarrel, but sibling aggression should not be encouraged in any way. We know that some of the children, some of them, they get angry, but the way of expressing anger is not by aggression. You have to teach the children how to sort out angry situations. You will not say, come, oya, go and bring your younger one. Take belt, begin to flog. This is how she will know that you are older. You are encouraging violence. There is a way to sort things out without being violent. So if there is an argument, they should sit down and talk about it. And when they are talking about it, don't be in a hurry to end that discussion and say you are the one that is wrong. Let both parties. It always takes two, and bring out each other's faults. Let them apologize, and it may take a bit of a time for one to warm up towards themselves. Just keep encouraging them. Keep encouraging them, but don't encourage sibling aggression. I was reading a story today, and someone said there was a boy, a boy, I know they were in the clinic, and then the boy gave the sister a huge slap, a dirty slap, and the mother was there, and she was about eating the girl more. And when the mom came, she only said, "Oh, you are the younger one. Why did you do this to your brother?" Until people had to say, no, even if the sister had done something wrong, that is not the way to address it. If you teach your children to slap their younger ones, when they grow older, when they see people that are vulnerable, they will think the only way they can sort themselves out is by slapping the person. So it is not acceptable. Don't ignore it when siblings are aggressive towards one another. It is not acceptable. Aggression towards one another is not as acceptable. Then the third one is that you need to know the friends your children keep. If your children's, they have caucus in school, they have groups. I don't know what they call it now in schools. They always have one group, and in some of the groups, the caucus, and in some of the groups, you have the group leader who might be the bully, and everybody warms up to the mean girl or the mean boy, and nobody wants to hurt the mean girl or the mean boy because that person is mean. And if you don't take time to know who your children are going around with, they might even be the head of that caucus, bullying every other person, collecting their snacks in school, and nobody will be able to talk. So you have to know the friends your children are keeping. And when you get to know them, don't be in a hurry. Get to know them. Sit, just see how they talk to one another. See how they sort things out. Then you know whether they are friends with bullies. Whether they are friends with bullies. So, and when you talk to your children as well, you have to take interest in your children and what they have to say, especially when they are coming back from school. When they notice that someone is bullying, you encourage them to speak out, to look for a teacher they can easily talk to, and just tell them that this person is bullying us or bullying other people, and I'm not comfortable with it. Guide your children through friendships. Guide them. Guide them through friendship. And when you notice mean behavior, deal with it. As they are growing, especially as they are getting to preteens and teens, peer pressure is a big deal. They tend to listen to their friends more than they listen to their parents. That's why you need to know who their friends are. Take time when there's a gathering, go with your child. Sit with other parents. Try to know who your children are mingling with. And if you notice that your child's friend is a bully, talk to your child about it. And let your children know that a relationship is never do or die. If your child has a friend that is bullying, sometimes these children too hold so on to friendship. They'll tell you they don't want, but this person is my friend. And you try to tell them this person bullies others. This person is a bully. And they will tell you that, but then it's still my friend. No, you don't need to be friends with bully. You can be, give them respect. You can be cordial, but you don't need to be close. And you have to report bullying, because if you don't report, and if you think they'll call you a snitch, then look for a teacher that you can talk to. And when you talk to that teacher, the teacher will know how best. Talk to your parents about it. But no relationship is a do or die situation. Always let your parents know that, or your children know that. I've said, of course, you from time to time, you need to talk about bullying with your children. You need to talk about it. Who is a bully? And if you notice that even your children are being mean, when they name calling, when they blame others, you know, then you must be able to talk about it and help them out of that situation. Then the next one is that you must foster empathy. I've talked about that before. Many bullies, they lack empathy. They are not nice. They don't recognize what people are going through. When people hurt others, they need help. Help tell your child or help your children to offer help in some way. If a child is being bullied, encourage your child to help. Don't say it's none of your business. Always encourage your children to help. And know the signs of bullying. Then put an end to a bullying behavior. If someone is being bullied, um, the best thing is to speak out. So a victim, we are still going to talk about victim, how to stop bully victim circle is always by speaking out and by developing a healthy self-esteem. When you speak out, when you have confidence, bullies are afraid of you. They, like I said, bullies look for people that are vulnerable, people that seem weak. Those are the people they prey on. So you can break the circle. And when you notice a bullying behavior, you go out to stop it. You stop the behavior. You don't just sit back and say, well, the person does not bully me, so I don't have any issue with that. So the person that has been bullied, all of you, you know, there was, I was opportune to have session with a lot of teenagers when we talked about breaking the cycle of bullying. The bystander, the person that sees it and refuses to do anything about it, is also going to grow up with some psychological problem. If you watch others being bullied and you turn your eye as if it's none of your business, you turn away, at that point you are absorbing some form of, mental issues that you have to deal with. I said bullying has short-term effects and it has long-term effects. There's a statistic that says, you know, this statistics is not a Nigerian statistics, but I'll read it out. It says 1 out of 5 kids are being bullied. 32% of students, they say they have been digitally harassed. That is all these trolls. They say some children, up to 5.4 million children. Remember, I said this statistics is not for Nigeria, but I'm just trying to read it out to know that this is where they even take record. So imagine a place where there is no record. You can imagine the number of students that face bullying, that skip school because of bullying. There are some children, they will tell you they don't want to go to school. They have stomach pain. They have this. They are just trying to run away from being bullied. And we said we have to break the circle. And breaking the circle means raising confident children that can stand up to bullies, that can say, no, what you are doing is wrong and it is not acceptable, that can report to higher authority and they will not feel bad doing that, because by doing that, they are saving all other children. We are talking about bullying because we don't want to raise children that will be adults that will be nuisance in their homes or in the society. Do you know that sometimes victims can metamorphose to be bullies? Because sometimes when they grow older and they are so disturbed, they become aggressive themselves. They don't want anybody to bully them. So they are always on the defensive, and they met out bodily harm or emotional harm to people because they don't know how best to treat it. So what are the effects of bullying? Victims of bullying can experience they're always afraid. They might be afraid to go to school, be afraid to use the toilets in the school, because all these evil people, they loiter around there looking for who will go to the toilet so that they can enter inside the toilet and bully the person. Some of them will not even go for sports, because as soon as they want to take a sport, the bullies are there and they say, get out of the field, we want to play. And what are the effects of bullying on victim? People, children, or people that are being bullied, they show fear, depression, loneliness, anxiety. They experience all this, low self-esteem, physical illness, and some of them even have suicidal thoughts because they think something is wrong with them. That is how bad it is. In fact, victims of bullies can commit suicide when they don't know how best even to handle it. So how do you handle a situation where you are being bullied? You have to speak out. If you don't speak out, people will not be able to help you. And there's this 5-finger rule we always have with children. You must have at least 5 people you can talk to, not your mates, people older than you. Either your mom, your dad, your grandma, your teacher, or a responsible uncle or auntie that you can tell, this is happening to me. You have to help your child look out for people they can talk to. Sometimes they don't want to talk to you because you are their parents, you are so close to them, and they believe you may be sentimental, you may not be objective. So that auntie they love, that uncle they love, you can be a pally to that person and say, ah, please talk to my child, I want to know what is happening. And they talk to the child and they come back to tell you this is what is happening. But make sure that whatever they discuss with you, you hold it there. You don't use it against your child, because as soon as your child knows that everything you hear, you use it against them, they will stop talking and they will talk to strangers. And when they talk to strangers, strangers might mislead them. So we've been able to cover some things tonight. Who are the enablers of bullying, especially as it pertains to parenting? The parents can be enabled bullying by not speaking or helping the children speak out. The siblings themselves, they may encourage bullying, especially older siblings. They may enable bullying. The school may enable bullying. The environment at large with news and everything may encourage bullying. But don't be an enabler of bullying. Because when you raise a bully, it doesn't stop in the classroom. They grow up to be adults and they bully other people. They become a nuisance in their homes, in the society. Don't raise bullies. And who is a bully? We've talked how not to raise a bully. Teach your children to respect everyone, irrespective of age, title, or religion. The most respect. Even if you don't like someone, it doesn't mean you have to be mean to them. Let your children know that. You don't need to be mean to people. You might not like someone, but you don't need to be mean to them. And then we talked about other things. Don't encourage sibling aggression. Don't say you are older, slap the younger one. I can't see a slap again. You are enabling bullying and you are raising bullies. And we've talked about the effect of bullying on victims. It has a long-term effect. Some victims, they metamorphose to be bullies. Some victims, all their life, they have mental health issues. Some victims, they are living with physical disabilities. They live with fear, anxiety. They have low self-esteem. Some commit suicide. Some are depressed. Some always have suicidal thoughts. Don't raise a bully. Bully prey on vulnerable children. Raise confident children that can stand up and say no. If your child seems weak, bullies are very happy. They have seen a victim. They have seen someone to bully. So that's where I'm going to end it tonight. I've talked about the enabler, the bully, the victim. A bully will grow up sometimes to abuse people physically, to be perpetrators of domestic violence, because they don't know any other way to express anger. The only way to express anger to them is by inflicting physical harm on people or emotional harm. That's the only way they know, because that's how they grew up. So please, let's do our part as parents. Let's take responsibility of our parenting. Let's help our children. Let's not raise bullies. And I believe that the Lord will help us even as we continue in this journey of parenting. Let's give time to know these children. Let's teach them. And if you're having problems, like I always say, there are so many times people just send messages to me, say, how do I deal with this situation? Even myself, that I have children, sometimes I get into a crossroad. I talk to people. How do I handle this issue? They are not perfect parents, but they are good parents. If you have problem, talk to other parents. Talk to people. You know, now they are even parenting coaches. There's nothing you are going through with your children that somebody has not gone through or somebody is going through. And people will guide you accordingly. The Lord will help us all. In Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you. I know some are not here. Of course, a lot of people are not watching now. Take time to, you can share the videos so that people will see it. Thank you. Have a good evening. God bless you.